Welcome to Whole Damn Vibe with your host, Steph Wharton, as you embrace your speaker era and prioritize more sustainable visibility and marketing platforms that essentially allow you to embrace a life-first business model, one that is a whole damn vibe. For today's episode, I really wanted to dive into how you get to make sales through different marketing strategies and specifically different marketing platforms. Now, I want to be clear, you don't have to be everywhere because not all of us have capacity to be on every single marketing platform out there. You get to decide on how many platforms you want to run and where you want to market yourself, and then take action based on that. But I think what really came up during the last episode as we were exploring what it gets to look like to launch or to run a group program and enroll clients inside of that program without actively launching, one of the themes that came up is that I really like to embrace the fact that clients can come to you in so many unexpected ways. And some of those unexpected ways include them coming from different platforms, different pieces of content on different platforms. So when I look at my business, to give you a bit of an illustration here, I look at all the different ways that I've signed clients or made sales throughout the duration of my business. And typically, there are very common themes. Of course, not every single client follows the same structure or the same path. Duh, that's the whole point of today's episode. But there are themes that I do want to bring forward and share with you because they are important. So the majority of my clients become, number one, aware of who I am and what I'm all about, thanks to public speaking, whether it's public speaking or collaborations. That tends to be my main visibility strategy. Although, of course, some of my other marketing platforms / strategies also include visibility within them, I tend to consider them more just traditional marketing. So we have speaking, we have collabs. Then from there, folks will usually take one or two routes. They'll either connect with me on social media, specifically Instagram, or they might sign up to my email list through like a lead magnet or something that I might have shared through whatever speech or whatever talk I did through that visibility opportunity. And through there, then they either join the free community that I host or they start consuming content on the podcast. And then from there, they choose to enroll, sign up to work with me in whatever capacity. So there's a bit of a path with multiple laneways where people choose based on whatever way they found out about me, whatever way they entered my space, my world, my community, or whatever ways they like to consume content. And I think that's really cool. Because you as a business owner, you get to decide how you want to create content. You get to decide what feels fun for your marketing and content creation. But then your community, your audience, they get to decide how to consume content as well, right? What platforms to consume content from. Some people prefer to listen to you talk. Other people like to watch as well and just get a sense for who you are as a person, the expressions, and just feel more connected in that way. Some people feel really connected / what they need from you is a blog post and they just want to read that, right? Some people like social media static posts and carousels because they really love the way that you educate through them or you tell a story through different slides on a carousel. Whatever reason might be, they decide to consume content in whichever way they want to. They might even watch your stories on mute and just read the captions, right? Like, who knows? We all consume differently. So the thing is that there's different paths, there's different platforms, and there's different ways to create and consume content. Now, what I want to make really clear is, I kind of said this already, you get to choose how many platforms you prioritize for your own marketing of your business based on your capacity and what you enjoy. So if you're first starting out in your business and you're kind of getting your feet wet and you're really crafting your message, you're making sure that you feel comfortable and confident in your messaging, you're making sure that your messaging lands, that you get creative and play around with different ways of saying things until it really sticks both for you and for your community in ways that convert. At that point, I would really recommend that you stick to one, maybe two marketing platforms tops. I'm almost inclined to tell you to only stick with one just because it's simpler. You get to just have like a one track mind where you create content, you put it out there, you're essentially testing it just the way that it feels. You're testing different ways of saying things until you build that confidence and that awareness in order to build that momentum and turn it into sales. So as you refine that strategy, then you get to apply it and tweak it and refine it for different other platforms, as opposed to spreading yourself too thin. With that said, you will be the best judge of this, right? Based on how your own brain works and your own design. Sometimes having one platform is too limiting. One of my clients, I think specifically, we had come up with a strategy as they were entering and pivoting into this new realm, into this new industry. And we looked at it and we're like, okay, based on what they were sharing and the coaching we were doing, we started to, I put my mentorship / my strategist hat on, and we're like, all right, so you're going to use one platform. But in order to get more comfortable with what you're saying and based on what made most sense for them, we're like, what if you have two platforms? One being the platform that allows you to just get things out, right? Like if podcasting, like if just word vomiting is your way of getting things out, then do that. Or if writing is it for you, then do that instead. So for this specific client, we had looked at podcasting as being that way for them to just get the content out, get the message out, and have it really be as unfiltered as possible, because they weren't trying to force that message into a specific amount of characters or for it to look pretty in a design. They're like, no, I literally just sit in front of my computer. I hit record. Maybe I'll edit it. Like, some people will edit or not edit. That's entirely up to you as well. Duh. If you catch my drift, you get to make all the decisions in your business. I think that's what's so freaking cool about being a business owner to begin with. So they use that, and they also love that strategy or that tactic, that way of marketing, because recording for a podcast allowed it to then live evergreen. So you didn't have to rely on the algorithm and the fact that that content would only likely be seen for the next 24 hours or maybe a couple days. It would live on forever. And they're like, that feels sustainable. Like, I'm a mom. I can't be creating content every single day. You've heard that from me. My clients, some of them are parents too. And that's how they feel as well. Some folks navigate chronic illnesses, or they're taking care of loved ones, or whatever it might be, that it is really important for them to pick strategies and platforms and ways of creating content that feel very sustainable, that don't require them to be on 24/7, creating more stories or going live on Instagram or whatever that might be. If you want to do those things, if you have capacity to do those things, if those things are fun for you, and easy, simple, whatever you're measuring, how you choose a platform and a way to curate content, then do it. I love Instagram. I just don't have capacity for it anymore. So where were we at? So they picked podcasting. And then, although they were still starting out and you could argue to focus on one until you experience success and then start building, they're like, no, you know what? I want to find a way to get people to find the podcast, right? And I want social media to be that. I want to share behind the scenes of my life. I want to find ways to create reels because it feels fun and whatever the reason. So that was the two-pronged strategy with two different platforms where people can find you and consume content in different ways, but then still end up making the same decisions, which is to work with you, to subscribe to your email list if you decide to do that eventually, to attend your free events. Whatever you're doing inside your business, that's their next step. That's what they want to do, right? So different strategies, different platforms. And what I will say is, if you are farther ahead in your business, you've been doing this for a while, or perhaps you just have the capacity, right, to work on more platforms, to market yourself that way, then do it. I'm on a variety of different platforms now, YouTube as well. Then do more. What I really suggest is to diversify the way that you are visible and that you market. So instead of being just on more social media platforms, like I wouldn't necessarily suggest for you to start off by amplifying and expanding your message by doing it through Instagram and then Threads, and then whether the social media platforms are there, TikTok, I don't know, like all of them, right? You could, if that's what you want, but what if you do it more intentionally? What if you amplify and expand your marketing by making sure that every marketing platform that you use hits a different need within just strategy overall, right? Within both visibility strategy, within the types of content that you put out there and what they allow for your business and how they serve your community and what folks are able to get out of that. So what I mean by this is in terms of different types of platform and how they really come into play, you get to have one where it's social media. So you get to start there. Then you pick a different platform, something that you have more control over, right? So perhaps blogging on your website because you own your website. Of course, that could technically disappear too, but you can have all those saved and then have them on a different site, I guess. In any case, it could be a website, it could be email marketing, something that again you have more control of, and then you're not competing with more noise online on social media. I think that's the key differentiator when it comes to, hey, you have one marketing platform that's social based, one marketing platform where people are specifically subscribed to you and they're consuming content only from you versus going through a feed and just consuming everybody else's stuff. And then finally, which is usually my number one priority, is public speaking and collaborations, because now you're getting in front of new audiences. It's not people who are now part of your community and subscribed, right? It's people who have no clue who you are. And thanks to somebody else that you decide to partner up with and speak on their podcast or do some cool, fun, creative collaboration that was like a one-off thing, then, or a recurrent thing, that could be really cool too. Then they're like, oh, shoot, that's really freaking cool. That's interesting. I haven't heard that perspective before. Let me go ahead and learn a little bit more about them and what it is that they are suggesting that I explore or consider here. And now they're in your world. Another way could be hosting a community, right? So now we're really focusing more on the relationship aspect, which brings me to, for every single one of these platforms and ways that you get to create content, you get to get really clear and essentially define for yourself, how do you want to use these platforms? What I mean by this is, do you want to educate? Do you want to deepen relationships? Do you want to use it as a way to amplify other voices and collaborate even more? Do you want to market and sell? Do you want to even like grow and deepen your personal brand? That could be a thing too, right? Let me give you examples of this. So if I look at my current marketing and visibility stack, which it shifts and evolves every now and then, but it's been very consistent for the past just over a year when I came back from mat leave. And basically what I have is at the top, speaking and visibility. So the main focus for me for that is fun, because I get to collaborate with other people and hang out with other people in new rooms, stages, whatever that might be. Then it's also thought leadership, because new people are seeing me, they get to experience my perspectives, my opinions, and that really plants the seed where they're like, ooh, I'm interested, right? So we got strong and intentional visibility as well as fun. Then I have email and podcast. So email and podcast are an opportunity for me to really share behind the scenes. Not that I never share behind the scenes anywhere else, but that is my intention. My intention is for folks to really get a more real sense for what things look like behind the scenes in my business, in my life, to really get to know me and the strategies and how my brain works. So I'm really educating and shedding light into what it looks like to build a business through public speaking and through sustainable marketing visibility strategies. So for anybody else who wants to learn more about that, they can, and then they can apply it, experiment, and get creative with how they do it inside their own business. Or should they want to work with me, they can do that as well, because I do also sell within email and podcast. So there's the focuses. There's educational, behind the scenes / marketing and selling. Then there's the community, the free community that I host under the Whole Damn Vibe podcast brand. That is all about relationship building. It's about community. That is it. I do not sell. I'm not saying I never will, but I do not sell. I don't even allow promo inside of the community, whether it's behind the scenes or on the calls. And it's literally an opportunity for us to come together and to make new business besties and to feel like we're not alone in this space, and to have some sense of like accountability as you body double and get some more work done and just have fun sometimes. Like you just need a distraction and to talk to a friend. That's what that space provides. It's just a space that is fun, safe as I can possibly make it. And it's just a nice add-on that I have for my business. It's something that I was really creating myself and something that I get to now create and have available for other people and other business owners who are looking for that. And it is a priority that I have for it to be a very diverse space as well. So that's strictly relationship building. And then lastly, social media. That's like the bottom of my priority list when it comes to my own marketing and visibility. So currently I'm using Instagram and Threads. Now, the priorities I have for that, honestly, it's fun and some marketing and selling. And there's a third thing, but I think I'm going to keep it for a different podcast episode because it's actually, now that I'm thinking about it, is such a good idea. And it's this whole like can of worms that I'd be opening. So we're going to leave it for the future. Once that's recorded on live, which again, hopefully I'll do that soon. I will link it just so you can go check it out. But essentially, it's the reason I say it's fun, even though I'm still marketing and selling on social media, it's because like I mentioned earlier, I don't have the capacity to be on every single day. So if I have time when I'm working behind the scenes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, cool, I'll do something. If I've prepped stuff ahead of time, cool, I'll share it. But otherwise, there's no need for me to be on there because all my other marketing channels are doing the thing, right? We've diversified and expanded our marketing visibility through all these different streams that I know it's going to work. And I think that's such an important thing to end this episode with. It's the fact that the mindset you carry throughout this entire thing is so important, because if you are going to diversify your marketing and you're no longer seeing it as this very clear-cut funnel where there's one strategy, one path that people got to choose and follow in order to then sign up to work with you, then you have to fully believe and trust in the fact that people can come to you in so many unexpected ways that you can't hold on to those metrics and the data and the engagement and the external validation as closely as you would if you only had that one funnel. I will say, data is important. If you're a data person, go ahead and analyze it. Absolutely. You can learn so much from that, but don't use it as a crutch. Don't use it as a way to validate or prove whether this is working or not working, because that's not how this strategy works. When you decide that you get to make sales through different marketing channels, you are essentially trusting the fact that people could jump from one platform to another. They could consume one piece of content on your podcast, then on your email, then on social media, then your lead magnet, then this, and there won't be one specific piece of content or platform that will convert them. It will be an amalgamation of everything that you've put out there. It'll be your entire brand, your thought leadership, your perspectives, your charisma, if you will, your personal brand. It's all the things weaved in together that are making it so that they want to go ahead and work with you and take that next step. It's not the funnel. It's not that one path. It is everything that comes together. So you really have to believe that. You got to trust that they're going to come to you in unexpected ways. That is it. That is behind the scenes of how you get to diversify and experiment and get really creative and feel really empowered in how your marketing doesn't have to look one specific, very structured and boxed in way. You get to make it your own. And I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you're trying anything new or if anything resonated. If you want to learn more about what I shared today, absolutely let me know. I might record a new podcast based on whatever questions you might have. That'd be really freaking cool, actually. Yeah, submit your suggestions / your questions, and then we can do an entire separate episode on it. And of course, if you would like to work together, you can join either Visibility Tour as you make public speaking more of a priority in order to share your mission and your thought leadership through public speaking, through collaborations, through media features. It's really freaking awesome. It's 30 days where you get to challenge yourself to both pitch and create content that's going to attract public speaking opportunities out of the blue. And if you want to amplify your impact even further, book those speaking engagements, launch a cool project, maybe a new visibility / marketing platform, you want to share more of your movement, your mission, a new program, then go ahead and join the Speaker Experience Mastermind. I'll drop all the links in the show notes, but otherwise, I'll see you on the next episode.